Okay, we got so much news to cover. There's a lot going on. Got to get into it. Oh, this is the funniest thing. Like, even people on our trip, they thought this was actually real. They thought this was like a real, the Xi Jinping, like, this, they thought this was like a real thing. Like, people think you don't have Winnie the Pooh in China. Bro, we got off the fucking plane, and the first thing, I'm not even kidding when I tell you this. We got off the plane, and the fucking first thing that I saw was a official Disney vendor, like a vending machine, selling fucking Winnie the Pooh figurines. So many goddamn Americans believe this shit, dude. Yes, people on our trip believe this shit. Yes, I said Winnie the Pooh. Shut up. Fuck, man. ESL. Waterhole. Shishi Lauber. I'm fucking, not only am I ESL, but English is about to be my third language, bro. I'm about to be fucking speaking Chinese nonstop. Anyway, it's just, the Winnie the Pooh thing is like a perfect example of how certain things in China get like crazy news coverage in the West, even by like supposedly progressive outlets and shit. So even by supposedly progressive outlets and shit. So then they ultimately, they just cause so many people to be fucking delusional about this stuff. They do ban people on WeChat for real. Yes. But the idea that like the image of Winnie the Pooh is fucking banned in China, or you get arrested for it, is like all stupid. That's not the case. You just can't say Xi Jinping's name, okay? I will just say it out loud for you right now. That is the big thing. It's self-censorship for the most part, but you can't really say it, type it. It's already a unique family. It's already a unique family name as well, so it's not like you can get away with being like, well, what if you were talking about another Xi? You can't. I'm a tourist. I'm a foreigner. I'm a political commentator. I did do it, and I didn't get like penalized for it, but the understanding is you just cannot bring up the names of any previous government leaders and the current government leader. There is a lot of reverence and respect. That is the only like thing that doesn't that my fucking stupid white monkey brain cannot fully comprehend. Also, it's like Voldemort. No. It's just respect. It's respect. You know how like a lot of these countries, and even in Turkey, like we have honorifics for older brothers, for example. We have honorifics for older people. No, same with Mao. Yeah. What are you supposed to say, No, you can talk about it in your day-to-day life. I'm just saying in social media, there is a lot of self-censorship surrounding it. People talk about policies, people talk about projects, people talk about and even criticize the government for certain things, but individual figures, especially when it comes down to the way we fucking shit on Trump. Like, I call Donald Trump a pedophile, right? You can't do that. You just straight up cannot do that towards Chinese government officials. You know what I mean? Like, there is definitely like a lot of, honestly, no, we call Xi Dada, basically top Xi, all the time on social media. It's fine. Just look it up on Weibo. Yeah, I meant like, like negative ways. This isn't communist, it's just Chinese. If a city had the same symbol as found in the name of the emperor, the name of the city would be changed. You mean they discuss and hold more importance of policies than the personality? That's refreshing. You are a general in a submod for the Fire Rises for the game Hearts Iron 4. Nice. So you mean like in a dictatorship? I love that, dude. Yes, a dictatorship of the proletariat. But yeah, they ban certain dates too. I didn't know that. But yeah, that's like one of the only things that I've seen. That's one of the only things that I have like experienced. I knew about it beforehand. But like as far as like my, Westerner brain, that is one of the stranger things for me. It's like one of the things that I don't understand. Hassani Somali arc. Yeah. Okay. I have tremendous respect wherever I go for the culture, and it's the same in Japan. I do everything in my fucking power not to be offensive or disruptive to the locals when I'm in Japan. And that's unironically why I like China more, because you can be unimaginably disruptive. Like shit that you would do in Japan that would immediately frustrate every single person around you is totally fine here in China. That's one thing that I will say that is like super sick about China, is that they really are the most social people I have ever encountered. Because no matter where I have gone in the world, I have never consistently been around 85-year-olds that want to chop it up, even though they can't speak a lick of English. From 8-year-olds to 85-year-olds, okay? The only other place I can speak on it like that is basically Turkey. Like, you go to a fucking countryside, you go to like a village in Turkey, as an American citizen, there's going to be an 85-year-old dude that's smoking a cigarette that tries to talk to you. No clue what you're saying, can't understand a lick of English, but he will try to communicate with you. And it's like, China is like that as well. They will come up to you, they'll talk to you, they'll stare directly at you, they'll whip out their phone, start taking photos of you, being like, what the fuck is this alien? Okay? And if you hit them with a ni hao, they'll start smiling and they'll try to talk to you. So that's been really fucking cool. I think China has too many people. It needs stable, or there's going to be chaos somehow. What? I think China has too many people? What do you mean? China is also ginormous. We Japanese consider that as annoying and invasive, just cultural difference, I guess. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just like there is a cultural difference. Chinese are definitely top of the list when it comes to being happy when you try to speak their language, even if you fail. Yeah. But aren't the Zoomers, at least in the U.S. cities, terminally online like us Americans? Well, considering that there are a lot more of those Chinese Zoomers than I previously thought in my own fucking community, yes. There are. Yes, there are. They are. Brother, there was a Chinese Zoomer came up to me and fucking said, dude, you pulled me out of the alt-right pipeline. That one-shotted me, okay? Never in a million years would I have ever thought that someone would utter those words to me as someone who had grown up in China, born and raised in China. It was shocking. Do you understand? You never go to Latin America because they are not fancy. They are like that. No, I it's so crazy. Dog, I mostly just live in America. You know that, right? Like, that's it. There's no, I don't have like a disdain for any part of the world. What is happening? Motherfucker said, oh, you like foreign countries? Go to all of them. And if you don't, that means you must hate them. How do we get here? How do we arrive at that position? You've been in China for 2 weeks and are selling it as the ultimate utopia where the government are angels and the populace think everything is great. It's ridiculous. China has plenty of problems. What? Dude, I know. It's so strange. This is such a strange attitude. Like, brother, I know. I talk about that a lot more than like most normies would ever even think to encounter. I'm currently in the process of talking about one element of like social repression that I personally do not understand and don't like. Okay? You're just mad because it doesn't correspond to what you know about China. That's it. That's the only reason. That is the only reason why you're mad right now. Okay? You have to understand something. You're doing a so you hate waffles to me saying I like pancakes because your whole life you've been taught pancakes are bad, and I just tasted a little bit of pancake and I'm going, this is delicious. And you're going, nah, dude, pancakes are fucking shit actually. And you hate waffles, it seems. Why do you fucking hate waffles? You want to kill waffles. You want to kill the people that eat waffles. It's like, no, I'm just saying I like pancake. Maybe it makes you fat. Okay, maybe there's some downsides. But you have to ask yourself why you feel this way. And I think the reason why you feel this way is because you've been taught to think about China a certain way. So when someone like myself shows you that maybe things are actually a lot better than the way you've been conditioned to believe things look like in China, you go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You should be spending every waking moment shitting on China. Okay, I went to Japan. There's a fuck ton of issues in Japan too. And I didn't spend every waking moment shitting on Japan. And ain't nobody was in the chat fucking chirping at me.
The White House right now.
Come on.
President Donald.
Anyway, let's get back to the real issues that matter, okay? Donald Trump has accused Democrats of seditious behavior over telling the military to refuse illegal orders, which is literally in the rule books, okay? I need you to understand what is going on here. Are the middle class living conditions as bad as I thought? Fuck no. No. You could say that about like poor people, like really, really poor people in China, because that's still definitely a thing. But abso-fucking-lutely not, dude. The issues are youth employment, like youth unemployment in general. But as far as like middle class living standards, are you fucking kidding me? I basically asked every Chinese person I could find, mostly in the cities, of course. So there's obviously that. But like, do you ever think about affordability? And they were confused. Just remember that. It's like living in an alternative reality for that reason. People that are our age and younger have issues, but like housing is not one of them, for example.
Has more harsh words for House Democrats.
That's insane.
So get this. The president is angered by a Washington newspaper's report saying that some Democratic lawmakers released a video urging members of the military to ignore unlawful orders. In fact, look at this. Trump said on Truth Social this morning, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." And then a short time later, the president finished with this thought: seditious behavior, punishable by death. Heavy words there. Let's talk about them. CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman joins us now from the White House. So, Willie, take us through what prompted these posts from the president. He is clearly triggered by something.
Yeah, that's right, Reed. Well, this video was posted on social media. Democratic lawmakers who also served in the military posting this message to troops, saying essentially that they don't have to follow an unlawful order. Then you saw Trump's response, posting the Washington Examiner article about that social media post, and calling for these Democratic officials, saying that their behavior is seditious and punishable by death. Now, we are seeing a response from House Democratic leadership who are calling on the president to take this post down. They go into a statement. They say they condemn the president's disgusting and dangerous death threats against members of Congress and call on the House Republicans to forcefully do the same. They then go on to, as I mentioned, call the president to take the post down, calling it an unhinged social media post, and for him to recant his violent rhetoric before someone gets killed. Now, I'll note.
This is so psychotic. MBS bent his ear. Days after Donald Trump hosts MBS, he says Democratic veterans in Congress urging U.S. service members not to obey illegal orders or engaging in seditious behavior punishable by death. Yeah. Would you say it's more the wages high or prices are low? And what mechanism are they using to make one or both happen? No, the prices are low. Wages are not high. I was talking to my friend about Chinese healthcare, and he said there are affordability issues worse than the U.S. I didn't think it was accurate, but I'm not very educated on it. Did you hear anything about it from the locals? No, the affordability issues of healthcare in China are not worse than the U.S. That's bullshit. But it's not free. This is worse than your Rick Scott take? Yeah, he's the president. Of course it's worse. When the president says something, it's basically seen as like a decree. So yeah, everything he fucking says of this sort is automatically going to be worse than that. On Xiaohongshu months ago, I was seeing the same thing over and over again when the topic of affordability comes up. Chinese netizens often wouldn't understand why Americans were complaining about affordability. They would just say, why are you spending so much that you can't afford anything? It's hard to explain to them a reality they've never known themselves. Did you get the dress shirt in China? Yes, this is another Army Logic shirt that I got. He says seditious behavior is punishable by death. It is. What did he say that was a lie? And what names did he name? Seditious behavior punishable by death when it's directed at the Democratic Party for for saying a correct statement about how the military has an obligation to not follow illegal rules. That's the problem. Because he's not talking about something that is actually seditious. I'll give you another example. Democrats have also talked about, explaining to people their rights against unlawful search and seizure. And ICE considers that to be a major problem. ICE gets very mad when Democrats like AOC explain to undocumented, documented migrants and also U.S. citizens what their rights actually are, because ICE is in violation of those people's rights and their constitutionally protected liberties. So if Trump were to turn around and say, "Oh, it should be illegal to tell people what their rights are against unlawful search and seizures, punishable by death, because it's treason," that would be fucked up on Trump's part, not on the part of people telling people what the laws are. You get what I'm saying? The Democrats aren't doing anything wrong in this circumstance. They're not actually trying to foment seditious behavior. They're just telling the military what the actual laws are, what the actual rules are. This is taught in the military. You have no obligation to follow an unlawful order. You could be court-martialed, you could be tried, but ultimately, you will not be fucking killed or jailed indefinitely for not following for refusing to follow an unlawful order. It's in the rules. So calling that out and informing people on this reality, on this rule itself, is not seditious behavior. If anyone is actually in violation of the rules, if anyone actually is trying to foment instability for no fucking reason, is Donald Trump.
Speaker Johnson, the leader of the Republicans in the House, is also responding to this as well. When he was asked about the punishable by death part of the president's statement, he essentially said that the president was defining the crime of sedition. He then goes on to tell reporters.
Trump was just explaining what sedition is and what the punishment is for sedition. That's all he was doing. Okay. But it doesn't fit in this circumstance. He wasn't randomly bringing this up. He was very obviously bringing this up specifically towards Democrats, saying it is seditious behavior, punishable by death, to tell the military what the rules are. It's fucking ridiculous. What is this? Another day in the greatest country on earth? I don't know why the internet's busted right now. Hong Kong internet, Hong Kong internet, Hong Kong internet. Man detained by ICE. Oh, fuck. That's sad. Man detained by ICE found dead, hanging with hands and feet tied. Attorney Newsweek. Mike Johnson defends Trump's sedition attacks on Democrats. Trump reposts call for Democratic members of Congress to be hanged. Trump does not want to execute members of Congress, White House says. Incredible. What a time to be alive. Greatest country on earth. I'm so glad that this is what we're doing. Folks, let me tell you how excited, how elated I am that this is what's going on in the United States of America instead of gay-ass bridges, bro. Why would anybody want to fucking build infrastructure? That shit is lame as fuck. High-speed rail, SP bandwidth improvements. Why would you do any of that lame-ass bullshit when you could be talking about the president having a will they, won't they about executing the opposition party? Play the clip. Yeah, it's the Coca-Cola. It's the Coca-Cola clip. We have real sugar in Coke. You aren't even getting cheap or BDS-approved Coca-Cola to drink. Shaking my head. Yeah, where are you going on that high-speed rail anyway? Your boyfriend's house to do butt stuff? Like, what are you doing, you know? Oh, TikTok doesn't work in Hong Kong, chatters. You can't send me a TikTok link, unfortunately. I no longer have use for the VPN, ironically enough, because American apps work here. Has Marjorie Taylor Greene weighed in? Yeah, she was very concerned with the inflammatory rhetoric when it was directed at her. Bro, you can go to the Chinese embassy and get an emergency visa again. I did the same. F up. It took me 2 or 3 days and it cost like $300, but worth it. Yeah, I don't have 2 or 3 days left in China, which is very sad. It's a very sad thing to acknowledge. Okay? I need you to not bring this up any longer because it reminds me that I'm fucking leaving in 2 days. I'm leaving in 2 days. What is this? Paying for my groceries and pay... Oh, Jesus.
And even though we've made incredible progress, we understand that there's a lot more work to do. And the thing that I'd ask for the American people is a little bit of patience. This economy, and even...
Oh, it's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. Hold on. In the live stream clip you just shared on BDB, there's a way to apply for a visa. It is in the highly rated comment section. I don't even know how to get there. Hassan is a bull in a China shop. What is this? Fuck. I just sprayed myself with this fucking granulated sugar. God damn it. Oh, it was on my performative shit too. You know Miles, Hong Kong? I am not playing. No. Sugar. Fuck. Look at this. This thing exploded on me. Look. Oh, I just accidentally smacked myself in the balls. It's real. I did do that. It's devastating. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, that hurts bad. Oh, I fucking flicked my nut. Larry Kudlow humiliates himself. I think affordability is overrated. Wow, these guys are doing great. I think this is going to be a very good message to put out there. I think they're going to win with this and win big. Let's take a look at what Larry Kudlow is saying.
There are issues on some of these prices, although I think affordability is greatly overrated.
Yeah. Guys, affordability, just give us some time. Or the affordability arguments are, give us some time, be patient. Affordability is overrated. Affordability is not even a problem. It's fucking awesome. Hold on. I gotta send this. The Brandon method. Affordability is overrated, non-problem. They will solve in time. Ultimately, it comes down to just stop being poor. My Mexican parents should have gone to China. What the fuck? The post-2008 world is so different from the pre-2008 world. My only hope is that the post-2026 world will also be different in a good way. Yeah, I think you're... hold on. I have to figure out, why would they do affordability when they could just lie Lamau? Or why would they do affordability when they can tackle everybody transgender? A lot of people are not understanding that you could just simply tackle everybody transgender, right? That's the major thing to tackle. Everybody transgender, no affordability, move on from the demands for affordability, really. Well, who cares? Who cares about affordability? Everybody transgender. Love it. Love that this is basically... Love that this is basically more violent, base-boosted Brandonization. More violent and more racist, more bigoted Brandonization. Everything computer, everybody transgender. Let's give another $40 billion to Argentina. Okay? No tackling any of the issues. No issues need to be tackled. Who cares? What do people do for work? What do you mean? In America, we just kind of sit around and wait. We call this the Will Stancil method. Yeah, it was very effective with the Brandon regime, so I assume it'll be even more effective with the Trump regime. Also, of course, there's also this.
One man had a dream his life was meant for more than serving fries. Trump didn't just see Greece, he saw greatness. He didn't just see a fryer, he saw a fresh start for America. This is the tale of the American dream, where nothing is impossible.
Look at the crowd over there. Look how happy everybody is. They're happy because they want hope. They need hope.
Two sides of the same man, two chapters of the same story, from the Golden Arches to the Golden Age.
It is my honor to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
His list of accomplishments is breathtaking. He's blown up the deep state. He's proven the so-called experts completely wrong. His list of achievements almost endless. Meanwhile, promises made, promises kept.
This administration's moving at political light speed. Today, the flurry continues, and his Sharpie's working harder than Biden ever did.
I'm asking you, just dream big. We're bringing it back. This will be America's new golden age.
That's not a joke. That's like not a... That's not like a commentary on America. That's not like a sketch or an elaborate bit. This is a real thing that the White House posted. Fry emoji from the Golden Arches to the Golden Age. But no, talk to me more about China, bro. Burgers made, burgers kept. This is Burger Reich. This is fucking Burger Reich all the way. At McDonald's on the boycott list, it's already there. It's already on the boycott list. It's been on the boycott list. Hey, heard you say Burger Reich and thought it was sweet? Yeah, they did. They heard it. And they were like, wow, we are Burger Reich, actually. This is from the official White House account, chatters. I need you to understand, like, this is not like fan made or anything. This is the White House made that. Okay, the fucking White House made that shit. Let's continue.
In this exchange there on Capitol Hill, that it was wildly inappropriate, talking about the video that was put out by the Democrats, and that the DOJ and the Pentagon are reviewing the matter. So a lot of moving parts with this developing story, and we'll of course monitor it. And I anticipate that the press secretary will be asked about this when she takes to the podium there in the next coming minutes. Once we see her, we'll of course bring you any developments that happens with this story, Reed.
And we are there. Willie James Inman, thank you so much for that report from the White House.
Nancy. Thanks, Caroline. This morning, President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to.
Bro, every time. Okay. I will say, Hong Kong is so sick. Hong Kong is so amazing. Every time I hear some fuck shit coming from the TV screen, the computer screen from America, I just walk out there and I just stare off into the distance and I just bring it back. Okay? Like when I hear members of the media be like, is the president saying he wants to murder members of Congress from the opposition party? I just have to look outside and look at the port and look at all the fucking ships out there in the periphery and just recenter myself. And it sucks because I have 2 more days of this, and then after that I have to be stuck in Los Angeles, California again. I feel like every day I wake up with a concussion. I'm pretty sure this administration is giving me brain damage. Everything is so dumb and bad. I mean, remember, this whole saga started with me in Japan. I escaped to Japan shortly after the inauguration, and it was the same exact bullshit back then. And now I have escaped to China, and it's still the same exact bullshit, if not worse. Things just keep getting worse. Think about it. It is 11/20/2025, okay? That means I left the country on January 20th, 2025. It has been 11 months of nonsense. 11 months of nonsense. Just think about that. Beginning of the year, I escaped the country during the inauguration. I was in Japan covering fucking American bullshit. It hasn't even been a full year. 11 months of non-stop bullshit, bro. And there are 3 more years of this. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? 11 months feels like 11 fucking years at this point. And seemingly, it's only getting worse.
Because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, It can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer, and notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice and the Department of War to decide.
But the president has frequently, but Caroline, can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of...
Yeah. A bunch of Democrats say, hey, it is your responsibility to refuse to follow an unlawful order. Trump turns around and goes, hey, I don't like that because I like giving unlawful orders to the military. So I think the military should kill you. How is, like, this is the endless dynamic that frustrates, I assume, anyone that has a brain, right? It fucking pisses me off that this is the consistent position of the Republicans all the time. Something that you have done, I will do tenfold, and somehow you are worse than me for doing it. I will take something that you did, and I will claim it's the most illegal thing that anyone could ever say or do, and I will then double down on the exact same thing I'm blaming you of doing. Think about it. It's like, it's the same principle behind Donald Trump being like, I never hid documents. The government came after me inappropriately. They claimed I hid classified intelligence in the Mar-a-Lago facilities, only to fucking turn around and be like, but Biden absolutely did do that, and he should be in prison for it. Well, between you and Brandon, he actually cooperated with the authorities. You didn't. Dealing with Republicans is like dealing with an insane partner that's constantly fucking gaslighting you. You got more media coverage and flack for saying if people dislike Medicare fraud, they would kill Rick Scott than the president of the country saying Congress people should be killed for telling the military not to do illegal things. Yes. The frustration is the constant hypocritical snowflake victimhood that is unironically repeated by his base. I know. I can't stand it. I hate that. Be strong and you know, project an image of power if you want to do that. But this kind of like pussyfooting, I can't stand it. I can't fucking stand it. It annoys me so much because it's like, I know what you're doing. I see it. I see it every day. You're not fooling anybody. I hate that. I hate the cry bullying. I hate it so much. It's horrible. Bro, stop linking me this shit, okay? We weren't there. I don't know what happened. It's a fucking horrible tragedy that like some tourist burned down like a part of a temple or something.
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
you can refuse an illegal order, which
but
is
they're suggesting, Nancy.
U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Cool. That's cool. That's cool, normal, and good, right?
That the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. And the courts have proven that. This administration has an unparalleled record at the Supreme Court because we are following the laws. We don't defy court orders. We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable. And that's what the president wants to see.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
What did the president mean when he called reporter piggy?
Look, the president is very frank and...
I think the other side of this story is that all of this nuisance peddling, all of this like, all this back and... Oh, I can't even talk. All this back and forth does provide a successful mechanism of distraction. Like, we're constantly talking about this shit. It sucks. It sucks. Everything is shit. Conditions are worsening. Everything is shit. And the president is a fucking man-child. And there is not a single redeemable aspect of this admin. Like, not even a little bit. It's so annoying. Yeah, check my logs. Let's see what kind of logs this chatter has. This administration is going to literally paralyze me because my health insurance is going up $700. I won't be able to pay for it in my medications, and no one is even talking about the fact that there's 1,000 people like me. Is so fucked. Exactly. No, exactly. Oh my God. That's the first time a chatter actually said, hey, check my previous logs, and it wasn't absolute doo-doo. I mean, it's a horrible situation, chatter, but also unique. Normally when people say, hey, can you check my previous chat log, it's usually just like someone going, hi, or asking a really silly thing. Quit softening it. He's a fascist, sociopath, psychopath, man-child, implies he's excused for his childish behavior. Yes, dude, I'm actually running cover for Donald Trump. You fucking caught me. No, I'm saying, I agree with you. Hassan, your hotel is smaller than others before. Yeah, this is a suite in the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong, except it's smaller than the other rooms that I've been in because it's in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is much smaller. This is actually a fairly large hotel room for Hong Kong, I think. Hong Kong is a fucking island and also has some land on the connected to the mainland China as well, but it's slammed with people. It's packed to the fucking gills. We're on like the 190th floor or some shit, dude. You look like a flamboyant villain. Good. Go to police married quarters. What does that mean? I've heard about this. Are you serious? Yeah, we're super high up. Why do you look like a villain? I'm on my villain arc. How comfy is that chair? It's pretty comfy. I mean, I guess I am a villain. If I'm Antifa, you look gorgeous. Chat is just jealous. Are you terrorism? Hello. Are you a terrorism? Your building has 118 floors? Yeah. Do you fuck with dim sum? Brother, who doesn't fuck with dim sum? Hasanabi Industrial Complex is starving right now? Wait, what? Why? I've been doing so much IRL shit. I don't really understand. I don't really understand how the easiest man to derail. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I am. The happier. I've been seeing a lot of your comments, specifically on TikTok, on a lot of the TikToks that I repost, being like, I've never seen Hassan this happy. Post 2023, post October 7 chatters have never seen Hassan like this, but this is how Hassan used to be all the time. Smiling, dancing, having a good time. And I realized, yeah, it's true. It's true. Post October 7, since 2023, I've definitely been my vibes have definitely been a lot worse. But when I'm in China and I'm happy and I'm having a grand old time, I also happen to be a little bit more ADHD. Okay? It has been easier to derail me, for sure. I liked you better miserable. I know. Some of you are miserable and want me to be just the same. But your hotel apparently has the highest swimming pool in the world on the 118th floor. Yes, it also has the highest bar in the world, I think.
With everyone in this room. You've all seen it yourself. You've all experienced it yourselves. And I think it's one of the many reasons that the American people reelected this president, because of his frankness. And he calls out fake news when he sees it. He gets frustrated with reporters when you lie about him, when you spread fake news about him and his administration. But he also is the most transparent president in history. And he gives all of you in this room, as you all know, unprecedented access You are in the Oval Office almost every day asking the president questions. And so I think the president being frank and open and honest to your faces rather than hiding behind your backs is frankly a lot more respectful than what you saw in the last administration, where you had a president who lied to your face and then didn't speak to you for weeks.
And finally, on anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism in America has reached a...
Chucky boy is back at it. He's working. We ever do shows again on Stream Like Black and White? I miss those days. Yes. Didn't mean to come off rude saying that. Sorry. I'm glad you're happy. No. I mean, I'm not angry or anything. I like that Caroline Leavitt's response here is basically, excuse me, don't you prefer the president being open and honest about how pig-like the reporter truly was? Which is crazy. Like, that was her response. She said, hello, my president is the most open and honest president of all time. And in all of his openness and honesty, he called the pig-like reporter a piggy. Don't you prefer that? Top political streamer, by the way. What is this? Rats Man Gold, too dumb and bigoted to know that these are Arabic numerals.
Elementary school students to learn. Zoran Mandami is expected to require all New York elementary school students to learn Arabic numerals? This is happening faster than I thought.
It's a joke. There's no way he's being sincere. It's bait. Like, he's not. You guys literally, if you think this is real, like, if you think this is his real response, and for those of you who don't know, Arabic numerals are, the numbers, okay? If you think that Asmongold is that dumb, you don't understand why I say he's a fucking grifter. Brother, Asmongold worked for the IRS, okay? Like, yeah, he's not very knowledgeable about politics and shit, but he's not that stupid. He knows what Arabic numerals are. He's just fucking around. He's trying to bait people, most likely.
Oh my God, man.
You're not helping your case here, Hassan? My case with what? No. He's either... Can you check my logs, please? I'm going to literally, instead of checking your logs, hit you with a 1 second ban. You expect too much of him? No, there were plenty who actually took that bait and took it sincerely. But Asmongold bait into what? He's stupid. It doesn't matter if he's lying or not. No, he's baiting for his audience. He's going to turn around and he's going to he probably turned around after that clip was over and been like, see, they're going to clip this because they want you to think we're dumb. Okay, something along those lines. Or he's just faking it. He knows what fucking Arabic numerals are. I know he knows. The problem that he doesn't understand, though, he's going to clip y'all and say you actually believed him. Yeah. The problem is there's two different issues. One, most people in his audience don't know that the numbers are just referred to as Arabic numerals because, the Muslim world was responsible for the Arabic numerals, including the number 0 during the Islamic Golden Age. That's number one. Most people don't know that, though, and it's a fucking joke that even Will and I have made, like all the way back in 2019, if you remember. It was also a joke on Veep as well. Okay, I'm sure someone has the fucking clip where the Hank Pecker character was frustrated about learning that there are Arabic numerals. Algebra sounds like Al-Qaeda to me. No one knows this is on. He definitely did not know. Yeah, the term algebra comes from the Arabic word al-jabr, which means the reunion of broken parts. The clip? No, not the Veep one. Give me mine. Give me the me and Will making a joke about that. There's a famous clip of me and Will making those jokes. To be fair, if the roles were reversed, he would just roll with the clip, cut clip version of what you said and pretend it was real. Yeah, well, I'm not fucking Asmongold, so I'm not going to do that. I don't give a shit.
I just found out from my stupid stepfather...
Father-in-law!
From my stupid stepfather-in-law that math was invented by Muslims. Yeah. And we teach this Islamic math to children. These math teachers are terrorists. Algebra? More like Al Jazeera. Under a Ryan presidency, I will ban this Sharia math from being taught to American children. There will be no more math. 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 No. She's fine. And one more thing.
Initially, we already joked about this on the sub, but now they're already falling for it. You know, things are bad when you can't tell if this is real or a joke. Dear God, it's real, isn't it? Dude, I went to an Ivy League feeder school, super prestigious, ranked nationally, and when I made jokes about Arabic numerals, 90% of my class didn't get it. Fun fact, Arabic numerals are actually from India. The Arab world just introduced them to Europe. I know. Former Asman viewer here. I actually found you via him. I'm familiar with the sense of humor. Trust me, he knows. He's legit just joking around and trolling, baiting even. Yeah, that's my read too. But the reason why that's also stupid bait, for the record, is because it's just like the water thing. Like him chasing water with a Dr. Pepper. Or him drinking water and going, ugh. I don't think he realizes that people see that and go, oh, no, that's real. Because he looks the part. Okay? So just like with the dumb, hateful grifter persona that he has, I mean, which is his entire output anyway, people are not going to look at that and be like, oh, he's probably baiting. People are going to look at that and be like, look at this fucking moronic right-winger. So I think it backfires when you do shit like that. Especially because it's paired up with real things that he does. No one would believe that you have to... like, if I were to be like, oh, I hate water, I have to chase it with soda or something, people would probably be like, oh, he's joking. But that's because I don't have a fucking blood wall. Or a rat alarm clock. Like a dead rat alarm clock. And live in mold. Or never shower, famously. My version of that is when I say something marginally positive about China, and all hell breaks loose, you know, because the meta is I'm Chi-Com. I'm a Chi-Comrade. So my version of that is when I say something like Beatty, or I say something like remotely positive about China or any of these countries, people go, oh, he wants to live in North Korea. Better question, why are you sticking up for him? I don't care if he's a grifter. I'm not sticking up for him. I don't know what... I'm sorry, guys. We got to do away with this mentality, okay? I'm not fucking sticking up for Asmongold. I'm sticking up for the truth. Jesus Christ. I don't give a shit. You guys need to stop doing this. Like, if I offer a nuanced approach to a person who I consider to be an ideological opponent, that doesn't mean I'm sticking up for them. I'm just saying the truth, okay? You need to stop with that. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There's a very annoying tendency that people have on the internet. This is not a defense of Asmongold at all.
I feel like this is crooked. Like, I feel like they f***ed it up.
Like
I can't tell, but like, doesn't it feel like it's crooked a little bit?
Only thing crooked is Hillary Clinton. That's right. That's right.
Oh, don't say her name, demon.
You can't tell me that she's not gonna swoop in late to this election.
I saw a strange man writing Arabic numerals on a plane. He's a member of the terror group Algebra. What the hell is algebra? That don't sound a lot like Al Qaeda. That's like 3 letters removed from Al Qaeda.
We got ISIS. We got Al Qaeda. We got algebra.
Yeah, algebra. Yeah, you can't.
We got Al Jazeera.
Yeah, they tried to sneak that by us, brothers. They tried to sneak that by us. They said, hey, algebra is okay. They put it in our schools. God damn it.
The only long dividing I'm gonna do is by putting up a wall between the United States and Mexico, baby.
You know, yeah. Oh, you don't like that? Are you triggered, liberals? Are you triggered, liberals?
I'm not.
Yeah.
This clip looks like you now, but with one of those smoothing Snapchat filters. Yeah, it's called aging, brother. It's called fucking aging. This clip now is like 7 years old. The fuck do you mean? It's like when you say that Ukraine is running out of manpower and people say you are pro-Russia. I know. It's just like unnuanced thinking.
Oh, he certainly does. And they're teaching this shit to our children. They're teaching it to our children.
That's how they're incepting the ideas with the cartoons.
Yeah.
Dora.
Oh, I think this is one of Will's best comedic lines of all time.
They're teaching it to our children.
Look.
That's how they're incepting the ideas with the cartoons.
Yeah.
Dora, what's she exploring? Weaknesses in our border?
Quit your exploring, Dora.
That's right.
Yeah. Was she exploring weaknesses in our borders? You guys are legitimately such miserable fucks. What do you mean? Are you all right? You guys are so brain dead. You're no better than that loser community. You pretend to be leftist because you watch Hassan but don't care about the truth and keep up drama shit and complain Hassan isn't more like them. Crying? Do we always have to someone can be both stupid things in a grifter conversation repeatedly? Why do y'all act like Hassan is defending him when y'all regularly call people grifters? Shouldn't you get the point? No, that person is just complaining about unnuanced thinking in the community. Inactive Maniacs, last message was from that day. They stopped being... Wait, what? From the same day of that bit? What are you talking about? This is from 2022. That bit was not in 2022. That bit was in like 2019. No, I will be banning you if you keep spamming. If I insult you, will you respond to me? I'm peddling lies. Yeah, I mean, this is a real state of affairs, though. Most Americans say Arabic numerals should not be taught in schools. Finds survey. Because... Anyway, if I compliment you, will you respond to me? Yes, I will. All right. Chuck Schumer is tackling anti-Semitism, calling on Nick Fuentes. I mean, I agree, but I don't know to what degree of success this will have. And I suspect that the Republicans will probably try to fucking tack me onto this bill as well because they're stupid. And Chuck Schumer will probably go along with it. Who knows? Let's see.
Dangerous tipping point. Jewish Americans are facing threats, harassment, and violence at levels we have not seen in generations. And as I have said many times in this chamber, anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. Where there's anti-Semitism, there lurks white supremacy and other pernicious forms of hate. Well, 3 days ago, the President of the United States declined to condemn Nick Fuentes' hateful views and defended Tucker Carlson's decision to give Fuentes a platform. The president was asked about his thoughts on the interview. He declined to condemn Nick Fuentes. That is disgusting. For Donald Trump to excuse and protect the spread of Nick Fuentes' ideology confirms what many of us have long said. White supremacy and anti-Semitism are taking deep roots, unfortunately, within the Republican Party. Just as we saw from the leaked texts of young Republicans, just as we saw from text messages of administration officials, the Nick Fuentes saga on the right reveals that anti-Semitism and white supremacy have been growing with disturbing currency within the right wing and within the right wing of the Republican Party. But I know this is not true of everyone on the Republican side, especially not for many Republicans in this chamber. Therefore, I will soon lead a resolution here in the Senate rejecting Nick Fuentes and his white supremacist views, condemning Carlson's platforming of hate, and condemning anti-Semitism and white supremacy wherever and whenever it occurs. In the coming days,
I feel like this literally boosts Nick Fuentes' profile. I don't think they understand how this shit works anymore. It seems like a bad idea to make a resolution about a single individual like this. Yeah, you're just going to boost your profile? Exactly. Yep. I think this is like, I don't even fucking know how to deal with this issue at all. But I will tell you, I think this just boosts his profile. That's all it does. Our establishment has no idea how to handle Fuentes and the rise of Nazism on the right. They're weak. They're past their sell date and clueless. They will continue to take money from their donors, ignore the will of the people, send our money to wars abroad, and encourage inequality, meanwhile trying to silence dissent. A perfect storm to strengthen the fringes and bring about the collapse of America. Absolutely dumbest thing to do. Shows that folks like Schumer, and there are people like him on both sides, know absolutely nothing about this moment and are not equipped to handle it. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I'm assuming Schumer is doing this for political purpose in the hopes that some Republicans won't vote for it, and then he can point to them as part of the problem. But what this does is galvanize Nick and gives him reason to tell supporters, see, look what they're doing to try and silence us. This also makes Nick's supporters believe he's on the right track, and this will tip people who are on the fence regarding Nick and move them over to his side. The proper way to deal with someone like Nick Fuentes is to provide a viable alternative. But because the viable alternative has to still be anti-Israel, these guys will never do that. If anything, they think they can probably utilize the Nick Fuentes the Nick Fuentes situation to Republicans who also hate Nick Fuentes and are worried about Nick Fuentes, not because he's anti-Semitic, but because he's anti-Semitic and anti-Israel, will then turn around and try to tack on other anti-Israel people on the left to this bill. And just as there are plenty of, mainstream Republicans who despise Nick Fuentes, there are plenty of mainstream Democrats who despise people like myself. And of course, the appropriate measure to dealing with someone like Nick Fuentes is to turn around and, like I said, offer an alternative. Not to fucking. There's nothing you can do at this point. Okay, people are anti-Israel, cat's out of the fucking bag. That's why I always say, like, anti-Zionism is here. It's happening. It's either going to happen in an anti-Semitic manner or it's going to happen in a non-anti-Semitic manner. It's up to the adults. It's up to the adults to figure out which way they want to go. But they cannot stop the anti-Israel sentiment, especially amongst the youth. And they certainly can't do that through legislation regardless. Could be a streamer most Republicans have never heard of, or could be the mass murder. Unfavorable views of Israel among Republicans under 50 jump from 35% to 50% in 2025. And these numbers are for March. Yeah. Zaid says, is this Nick Fuentes'? Zaid also is pointing to how this is not about Nick Fuentes. It's not about me either, by the way, okay? I think a lot of people that are in my community credit me for their own personal their own personal attitude shifting, which is fair. But for many Americans, like, they don't know who the fuck I am, right? They don't know who I am. I mean, we all play our own role in this. It's not 5D chess. It is not a 5D chess play to make Republicans look bad. You mean, is it not a 5D chess play to make Republicans look bad? It's not even 5-dimensional chess. It's not even 1-dimensional chess, let's be real. I think it's just most likely going to fail. It's about me. Everything is about me. It's so funny that you said right here, because I was just talking about how it's not me or it's not fucking Nick Fuentes. It's Israel itself. That was the point I was making. Feel me? You feel me? Trump pardoned this groyper. What is that? Just insane levels of unvarnished hate in American right. This lovely individual is one of the January 6ers pardoned by Trump for assaulting cops. He's running for Senate in Florida. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, this is the new thing. Or I mean, it's not a new thing, but, like, people are fucking freaking out about Dearborn again. The Republicans are losing their minds about the existence of Dearborn.
In 1900, the world was 30% white. Fast forward 125 years, we are down to 7%. The Islamic.
Yes, we're going outside we're gonna be outside in like an hour and 20, and we're going to go and take on the streets of Hong Kong. That's Jake Lang. He's Jewish. He's cosplaying as a Christian and tried to burn the Quran. That's so funny. Oh, nice.
The Islamification of Europe is particularly aimed at the destruction of white people. The Islamification of America is aiming to meet the same goal. Our people, white Christian, European, Western civilization, we built the arts. We built the Colosseum. We have ran the world into the industrial.
Bro, that's so funny. You built nothing, bitch.
Age. And now, this people here, the Muslim community, is looking to drag us back. They're looking to oppress women, oppress homosexuals. They're looking to destroy everything that makes America great. President Trump, send ICE into Dearborn. These people have overstayed their visas. They're H-1B chain migration invaders, and they have come to this country to destroy our way of life. We know exactly your laws in your book about lying to our faces, pretending to be Americans, wearing your suits. But that doesn't happen anywhere else where you guys are in charge. There are 53 Muslim majority countries, and in all of them, it is tyranny, destruction, it is shithole living. We have to call it what it is. You guys don't live like we do. We don't want you in our country. We will come and eat your shawarma in Somalia, okay? We don't need it here in Michigan. We don't need it in any part of America. We have a right to self-determination. Damn right. Founding fathers fought and died for our posterity. for white Americans. Amen. And we're being driven out. You come here and you marry 4 or 5 women and you outbreed us. You change the laws. You make all of our country look like the places that you fled from. We don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country. I don't want you here. 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 This is our country. And the people, the veterans, the World War II veterans, that's blood has soaked for our constitutional republic, are taking a look around Europe. They're taking a look around.
I mean, this is just fucking straight up loser shit. I don't know how else to respond to this. Is this not hate speech? I mean, yeah. Yes, he said Christians built the Colosseum. It doesn't have to be factually accurate. It's just all on fucking whims and vibes. Do you not realize that that's what it is? Everything is held together by resentment, sadness, insecurity about like the position in society that you thought you deserved that you don't have any longer. He's Jewish, so calling him a Nazi is anti-Semitic, I'm told. Okay. Well, I guess we can't do that. Are you sure you want to come back, goddamn? I mean, look, there's hogs everywhere, but there's beautiful people everywhere as well. Who gives a shit about this dumb fuck loser? The point is not to let guys like this become prominent fixtures of American politics, but unfortunately, we're seemingly too far out from that reality. It's like cat's out of the bag, you know? Especially because what this person is saying is hateful, right? It's unrestrained hatred, it's weakness, it's insecurity. It's insecurity being masqueraded as like a militancy of some sort to restore the former glory of white people or whatever the fuck, right? However, Stephen Miller says the same shit. So even if this guy is somewhat of a nuisance, this is exactly the type of policy legislation and you're seeing being commanded by the Stephen Millers of the world, who also happens to be Jewish, for the record. Do you see what happened to him during his march? What happened to him during his march? This January 6th domestic terrorist Jake Lang was punched in the face today while leading his racist march in Dearborn, Michigan. Oh no. Oh, he was so happy though up until that moment. They say radical left, but that looked like a right to me. I mean, disavowing political violence, of course. God damn. He put that shit. He went with the full. This and this are funny additions to this. POV, you vlogged the entire Dearborn protest?
Guys, we're here at the anti-Sharia law Dearborn. Guys, we're here at the anti-Sharia law Dearborn. We're on the opposition side. Guys, we're at the bus where he's spray painted cuck on the thing. Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck! No, yes! Yeah! Yeah! Hey, we got freedom of religion. God is great.
No, dude. See, this is what I mean when I said there's beautiful people out here as well. You know, for every fucking hateful psychopath, there's also a bunch of chill dudes who are fun and cool and funny and have much better vibes, you know? None of these Nazis are from Michigan. They need to get the fuck out of my state.
Guys, he has bacon. No! No! Guys, he got married.
Yeah, that's my favorite trope. That's my favorite, like, Islamophobe trope, is that they think Muslims are like vampires and they respond to the presence of bacon like it's garlic. You know? Yeah, dude. A Muslim sees bacon and they just perish. Also, why don't they do that to Jews? Like, that's the other thing. It's like, if you can comprehend that Jews have kosher, Muslims have halal, neither eat pork. But you can comprehend that, like, Jews don't perish at the mere sight of pork. Then why can't you comprehend that the same thing happens to Muslims too? Jake Lang is literally Jewish, you guys said, right? Motherfucker, you're Jewish holding up a slab of bacon. Yeah, my brother, this isn't garlic and we are not vampires. Hey, Zoran Mamdani, this is for you. Bon Appetit. Just wanting to share some bacon with all my lovable Muslim peeps this morning. It's the least I can do. If you're honestly asking, it's because they see Jews as not very religiously committed while they see Muslims as religiously obsessed with the level of paralysis is smooth brain racism. Yeah, except the only party here that has like religious zealotry level brain paralysis is white supremacists. That's the irony here. White supremacy is the fucking mind-breaking factor here, not Islam. If that makes you think, if that makes you hallucinate a world where like you think Muslims can't even be in the fucking presence of bacon, you're the one who's actually brain broken by your ideological belief system, not the fucking Muslim dudes.
I believe they're going to cancel the 6:30 City Hall meeting because everybody's chimping the fuck out. They're chimping the fuck out. I don't have bananas. Chill out.
They just keep spamming Allahu Akbar. No, that's fucking, oh God. It's funny right now, but like, I feel like if enough Republicans see that shit, they're going to turn around, and if enough Republicans see that shit, I'm worried that they're going to turn around and make it illegal or something, you know?
This is not America. This is an insurgency. They are taking over our country. They're taking over our country. They want us all dead.
Is he saying shrimping or chimping? No, he's saying chimping. Hey, I have a really stupid yet serious question. Is throwing bacon at a Jewish or Muslim person a hate crime? I think it is, but not because it like has the capacity to harm them or anything. But I think it's probably considered a hate crime because of like the intention. That guy's not Christian. He's Jewish, acting Christian, trying to start a religious conflict.
This is Dearborn, Michigan right now.
Yes, this is Dearborn, Michigan. Any racist is not welcome. No races here. If you can't be peaceful, but every race is welcome. If you're a racist, you're not welcome. At all, we do not. Every race is welcome. 1, 2, 3. Our president is a pedophile.
That didn't rhyme, but I like it. I like the energy. Just get on the bus. Officers implored Jake Lang and his friends to leave after his Council City comments. Christ is king, white is right, Lang said. How do you guys know he's Jewish, by the way? That I don't understand. Is that like made up or something, or is he actually Jewish but pretending to be Christian and you guys know it? Like, how, or why is he even doing that? Or are you mad at me? What the fuck's going on in the chat? He was caught kissing the wall. That doesn't mean you're Jewish. Nah, he is. NS family who served in the IDF. Oh, okay. He wasn't just caught kissing the wall, brother. He had a tefillin on. What do you mean? Okay, he is Jewish. No, I was gonna say like, yeah. There's a difference between people going to the wall and kissing it and stuff. Like, you know, Trump. Every fucking president has tongue punched the goddamn wall. What are we talking about? That doesn't mean that they're Jewish. It's just a thing people do. Okay, this is different. This is different. This is like, I mean, he's like straight up. He actually is Jewish. He got tefillin on and everything. Like he is more religious than like the average American Jew, or at least like as far as this expression goes. Tongue punched? Yes. What's the arm thing again? Is tefillin. You wrap it up, and then the little box in there has like I think pieces from the Torah. He calls himself Jewish Christian. Yeah, that shit don't make no sense to me. I don't understand it. Jake Lang, January 6th politician. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight your battles. Yeah, prayer scrolls. I don't understand how this happens. Like, I don't get how this happens when you're Jewish and then you just like LARP as a Christian. That is the thing I don't get. Well, here he is burning Talmudic literature. So I think he's kind of moved on from the whole Jewish thing. Wait, what the fuck? Bro, this guy is crazy. What the fuck? Hold on, I got room service. Thank you. I'll just take it. Here, let me sign it. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bro, I will never understand this shit. I don't get it. Like, I feel like it's a sign. I feel like it's a sign that you are deeply unwell when you do stuff like this in general. But this is something that I will never understand. Like when people are just like, "Oh, I'm Jewish," but then you also turn around and you're like, "I actually have decided I'm Christian now because they're better at fucking advancing my white supremacist ambitions." He could be messianic, meaning he is Christian LARPing as a Jew. No, I know about Jews for Jesus. I know. The Larry David meme comes to mind. But this is so fucking, like, how do you look at guys like this and decide he's a good leader for your movement? Because it does not fucking pass the smell test at all. This is what I'm saying. Do you see what I mean? Like, when I see a guy like this, I'm like, okay, you are fucking mentally ill. I am not going to listen to you. I am not going to follow you. I am not going to decide that you have anything unique or interesting that you are bringing to the conversation. You know what I mean? But there are still so many fucking hateful idiots out there who look at guys like this and go, no, that's my guy. This is my shit, dude. What? He's burning the Talmud and the Quran. He's a mentally ill Jewish guy who now LARPs as a Christian. Oh, sick. I love that. Rabbi Shmuley, we get it, lol. No, that's what I mean. No, Rabbi Shmuley is another great example of this, right? Like, especially with Rabbi Shmuley, there are a lot of alternatives to Rabbi Shmuley who aren't fucking Rabbi Shmuley. And therefore, a lot of Zionists themselves also dislike Rabbi Shmuley. The reason why they dislike him is because he's fucking insane and he actually makes the Zionist movement look bad. Let's just see them play basketball against each other. Yeah. Speaking of basketball, I was using the telescope last night and there's a court near me and they play ball there until late into the night. Put Rabbi Shmuley in a hockey uniform and let's watch them all skate. Rabbi Shmuley is just a nasty right-wing grifter. Lang is Christian, so stop calling him Jewish. Yes, Hasanabi needs to study Messianic Jews. Do Messianic Jews get this anti-Semitic? Aren't Messianic Jews Jews first and then they become like Christian brainworm though? Did I misunderstand that? I thought they were like ethnically and religiously Jews first and then they get the Christian brainworms and then they run around being like, I'm Christian. No, depends. Not you creeping on basketball players from afar. Burning a book is still better than abusing an animal at least. What are these fucking vegan activists doing in here? What the fuck's going on? Wait, was that I assume that was a snide remark against what he perceives I'm doing. Is that what it is? Is that your mindset? Is this your copium?
Oh my God, we'll have our home again. My God, we'll have our home. My blood or sweat will get there yet. My God will.
Wait, I can't even hear what the fuck he's saying. Because the music is Jews for Jesus, a cult that has nothing to do with Judaism. It could be a slam on kosher and halal, but probably is what you mentioned. Every part of this is bad. I give this hate crime a 3 out of 10. Okay? It was badly constructed. It was poorly constructed. It was bad editing. I don't like it. Okay? If you're going to do a hate crime on social media, you have to put more emphasis on the message. Okay? It would have been better off if he wasn't speaking while he was burning the Quran and the Talmud. Okay? That's a 3 out of 10. That's poor performance. Okay? I've seen much better hate crimes out there. I'm Anthony Fantano, internet's busiest music nerd, and I rate hate crimes. This is why I'm the CEO of racism. Okay? And as the CEO of racism, this rage bait was bad. It did not leave me with even a little bit of hatred or a little bit of anger and resentment. You did not rage me at all. Like I would say in the hate crime ratings, the maximum hatefulness is when you actually end up agreeing. Like that's a 10 out of 10, right? No one ever achieves that. The only people that have been able to achieve that are people who engage in anti-Italian sentiment. Yes, I am the racism sommelier. I have a PhD in racism. Ask me anything.
We're trying to load up, but we're worried about people following us out of here.
Are you all you guys going on this bus?
Yeah, you guys gotta make sure.
Follow you. Yep, just get on the bus.
Can we have at least a couple officers? Because these guys are dirty bastards. Christ is king.
I will say, it does not surprise me in the least bit that guy who's pro-Israel, who's also anti-Semitic, who's a Jews for Jesus guy, is aggressively hitting the Islamophobia notes. Part of it is because Islamophobia is making a big comeback right now, but part of it is also because this is very beneficial for those who are pro-Israel to maintain a pro-Israel position without actually saying that they're pro-Israel. Remember, Tommy Robinson is what I have suspected is like operating alongside at least like Mossad assets in the UK. These guys are white supremacists and very hateful, and in most circumstances, at least historically, those hateful white supremacists would also be anti-Semitic. And there are versions of that, right? There are versions of that in the United States of America, like the equal opportunity haters like Nick Fuentes, right? Who also are anti-Semitic. But I have noticed that there are a lot of fake haters out there, you know, like real racists, but they don't real racists except for anything that pertains to Israel. Even if they're anti-Semitic themselves in their own personal lives, or even if they're anti-Semitic in general, they turn around and they hyper focus on Islamophobia in an effort to be like, no, I'm a real one. I'm a real bigot. Trust me, I'm a real bigot. But the real reason why they're doing that is because they want to shift the attention away. They know that they can't defend Israel, but at least they can get all the other haters who would normally hate Israel to reshift their attention and refocus on Islam, you know? Real MAGAs are racist to black and Hispanic people. Islamophobia is imported. No, I mean, Islamophobia post 9/11 was like pretty poppin', and it still exists very much, and it definitely made a big comeback, right? Islamophobia post October 7 made a big comeback, right? But right now, I'm gonna be honest, the type of Islamophobia that you're seeing, I think is definitely a little bit of intervention, you know, a little bit of putting your finger to tilt the scales. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. It feels like a lot of the Islamophobia that we're seeing right now is actively being pushed, like whether it be on social media or whether it be, you know, things like this. Kirk. Please say Muslim instead of Muslim. No, I'm Turkish, okay? We say Müslüman, okay? We say Müslüman. In English, I say Muslim. It's just how, you know, you say it in English. It's fine. I'm Muslim. I know it's Muslim, okay? Muslim. But yeah, in Turkish, if I'm speaking Turkish, I say Müslüman. My mom posting this on TikTok. Oh, hell yes. You guys also say Mehmet, which is messed up. Mehmet, Memo. Bro, I cannot believe how quickly the cultural attitude surrounding Charlie Kirk snapped in the opposite direction. And I think it was partially because these guys tried to do the fake veneration and, like, you know, tried to fire people. They tried to go after people aggressively for daring to say anything about Charlie Kirk, including people that were just simply posting what Charlie Kirk had said, right? But then saying this is something that I don't agree with. And it snapped back so hard. Everyone's getting Kirkified. Last night, we were talking about this, and it's like, my fear now is like, I don't fear death, right? I've talked about this before. But my new fear now is that if I die, I'm going to get fucking Kirkified, and everyone's going to constantly put my face on shit. And because nobody has any chill anymore. So I need to avoid that. I need to avoid death now. All my haters are going to fucking rejoice. Gen Z has no chill and no respect whatsoever. And I think part of the reason why is because the administration of the government basically tried to do everything in their power to be like, you can't do anything about Charlie Kirk. And Americans don't play like that. You tell an American, and I even have that dog in me as well, a little bit, right? I have the Western brain that I was talking about before. You tell an American they can't say something, they just go, I'm going to say it extra fucking hard. I have nothing else. This is the only liberty that I have. I'm going to use it, God damn it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They tried to hit that like, oh, how dare you even bring up what Charlie Kirk had said in the past? You're not being sufficiently pro Charlie Kirk. He just died. And people went, okay, bet. And first, it started off with people putting him on, Kirkifying like rap videos and stuff like that. Right? And now he is immortalized in the worst way possible. And I guess it's partially because of the famous, like, you know, gun violence is a necessary part of having freedom to own guns. You know, school shootings are going to happen. Who cares? And then he died in a school shooting, right? So Gen Z was like, okay, well, if you don't give a shit about, you know, my peers dying in school shootings, I don't give a shit about you dying in a fucking school shooting, right? Like, so that was part of it. And I think the other part of it is because, like, you tell people, especially young people, they can't do something, they're gonna do it extra hard. And now everything is getting Kirkified. And I was thinking last night, we were talking about this last night, we were like, what's the craziest? The new meta, I think, would be Kirkifying an entire motion picture movie. I think that's going to be the next wave, where they just literally Kirkify an entire, like, 2-hour movie. You know what I mean? And we were trying to figure out, like, what would be the most insane movie to Kirkify. Will said Moana. I said Schindler's List. Lord of the Rings extended trilogy, director's cut, Shrek. Passion of the Christ was another one that I thought would be an insane thing to Kirkify. Sallow? Oh, that might be the one. Kirkify the Birth of a Nation? Brother, that's not... I feel like Kirkifying Birth of a Nation is a little reductive, no? That's a podcast combo, guys. No, we were doing this off camera. That's why I'm... the B movie. Yeah. We Kirkified Birth of a Nation, and nothing changed. Kirkifying Birth of a Nation, and the movie is exactly the same. What do you mean Kirkify? Kirkifying is when, like, and this is a new meta with Gen Z, is when Gen Z will take Charlie Kirk's face and put it on a photo or a movie or an image, like a snippet from a movie. It's something that people are doing all over the internet now. It was popping off on, and it's been like international. People are fucking doing it in, like, Iranian Twitter and shit. What is this? No, they're just doing a Kirk what conservatives did to George Floyd. Yeah, low key, that is what's going on. I mean, not even low key, but high key. Dude, what is this fucking song? I didn't even know. Yeah, see? This is a Kirkification example. Papa Perk for Charlie Kirk is going to be floating around the noggin for at least a week. Wait, what?
The heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk. I have no doubt that Charlie's voice will be heard. She put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people.
FD has a video coming out about this, edited it, and he literally makes a George Floyd comparison. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's right. All the fucking Nazis used to put George Floyd's face in everything. And I guess now it's like almost a revenge against that sort of thing. Oh my God. No more live streams in America, bro, please. Wait, what? Definitely encouraging a Nazi to murk you right now? Wait, what? Brother, you think the Nazis like Charlie Kirk? What are you talking about? They are also Kirkifying Charlie Kirk. They hated Charlie Kirk. The fucking Groypers hated Charlie Kirk. The Groypers hated Charlie Kirk almost as much as I did. This song is fucking crazy. What? Why? Israel is the reason. Charlie Kirk's #1 op was Nick Fuentes. How many? Dude, we spent the fucking next week after Charlie Kirk's assassination talking about this shit. What are we talking about? Charlie Kirkified edit? That comedian did that rap a day after he died? That's crazy. Bro, people already forgot about him now. Brother, they did not forget about him. They got zero chill about remembering or respecting his memory. That's my point. His legacy is absolutely fucking this, you know? It's just, this is what he will be remembered as. This is from 3 days ago. Nick, imagine how Charlie Kirk would feel about Trump dining with Epstein. Charlie Kirk knew about it and he didn't give a shit. He was completely corrupt just like Trump was.
With Epstein. So sad and embarrassing for all of Trump's supporters.
Of course, he knew. He didn't give a shit. What do you mean, imagine if he knew?
You know, I'm really sick of this idea that Charlie was some kind of idealist.
Oh, this fucking dipshit, this booger eating gay Mexican Nazi, days after Charlie Kirk's assassination, was complaining about my coverage and the way I was talking about Charlie Kirk. Now, a month later, now that all of his fucking fans are Kirkifying at an alarming rate, he turns around and he's like, oh, damn, Charlie Kirk was not an idealist. Oh, now he remembered. What happened? What the fuck happened? I thought I was being disrespectful to Charlie Kirk's memory. What the fuck happened, bro?
Do you think Turning Point made $140 million a year because Charlie was an idealist? He was everything to everyone. He was something different to every different person he dealt with. And he was completely corrupt, just like Trump was.
Remember, he said, yeah, you need to cry for Charlie, he said. I need to be crying for Charlie Kirk, he said. Look at this fucking switch up. Is that why you've been compared to Nick Fuentes? No, I get compared to Nick Fuentes because dumb fuck losers, dumb fuck Zionists desperately want someone like myself not to get fucking positive media coverage because my position is anti-Israel. Okay? And I've been there. I've been there from the beginning. And they can't stand it. They can't stand that there's a dude out there who gets positive profiles in mainstream outlets who they can't fucking turn around and silence. They hate that shit. They want that shit not to be the case. They want me to also... I mean, Nick Fuentes is even getting fucking major profiles at this point. But they're obviously not as positive. But they hate that there is like a person like myself who is talking to Democratic Party politicians, openly operating within the confines of one of the two mainstream parties, who holds the majority position on Israel. Let's be real, right? A position that that Zionists never thought would become the majority position. And they just cannot fucking deal with it at all. So they just fling shit at the wall and hope that it sticks. Is Nick really gay? I've seen him simp for Candace Owens in clips. Yeah, I mean, he does not have a consistent fucking bone in his body, okay? The new hater meta is claiming every profile is a PR psyop. Yeah. Fuentes is trying to latch onto your nuts now, basically saying we're all a part of the same team. Yeah, I saw this shit. I saw a clip of this.
And progressives, Zoran, Hassan, Anna Kasparian, we're all saying something like America first, stop the genocide. But the Jewish community, right and left.
I don't want to fucking see this shit, okay? Yeah, okay, listen. There is no we here, okay? We are not on the same fucking team. My primary focus has never been identifying marginalized communities or groups of people that are not a part of the in-group to claim that they need to be forcibly excised from the American public. I don't give a shit about people's national identities, ethnicity, religious opinions, their backgrounds. These are all spiritual concepts that I don't think serve any purpose beyond, consolidation, beyond a sense of community, maybe a North Star for some people if we're talking about religion, a way to create social cohesion. And there is utility in this. Ultimately, though, I care first and foremost about people, okay? Improving people's lives, regardless of where they're born, regardless of what their fucking background is, and even regardless of what their worldview is, right? That's why I always say I care about universality. When I'm talking about domestic issues in the United States of America, I say I care about universal principles, universal policies, universality in the sense that, like, I want Medicare for all, which includes Medicare for Nazis as well. That's it. Because I care about people first and foremost, improving and uplifting material conditions for every single person. We have the capacity to do so. All of this other shit, sexual identity, gender, ethnicity, nationality, religion, even political opinions, all of that other stuff is irrelevant to me, okay? It's completely irrelevant to me. Ew, I hate you when you say that. It doesn't matter. It's just how it is, okay? That's what I believe. I think A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that that is my my worldview. That's what I believe in. If you spend any moment, any time whatsoever, you just got cooked there, brother. Okay, whatever. If you spend any fucking moment talking about how like it's actually the migrants that are disrupting American society, it's actually the Jews, the organized Jewry that's actually controlling every lever of power in American society. This is childish. Okay, this is stupid. There is no idealistic organized unit. It's all class. Okay, it's capitalism. Just as there are Jewish capitalists, Jewish capital owners, there are plenty of Christian capital owners who operate on the same fucking boundaries. They operate and abide by their own class position and their own class interests. That's it. Trying to foment enmity towards Jews or towards migrants or towards any group of individual beyond is silly. It's unproductive. It's a distraction. And at worst, if it turns into policy, it is morally repugnant and it's violent. Okay? This is why I get very frustrated with people, like even with Nick Fuentes' clip, that one clip where he's like, you know, the populist left and the populist right need to get together and you know, the populist left need to drop the immigration stuff and the populist right need to drop the capitalism stuff. It's like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? One is an economic organization of society that is the hegemonic, domineering force that that has been the singular force, the singular economic system post the dissolution of the fucking USSR, and the other is like an idea that that was born out of your own selfish and racially motivated desires to maintain some semblance of racial purity that you don't even fucking abide by because you're Mexican. You know, it's so fucking stupid. These two things are not comparable. It is actually just capitalism that has caused people to identify themselves as all of these different things, like all of these different ways of seeing themselves. That is somehow all of these different people from different tribes are actually ruining American society. It's not the case. The most cynical version of this ideology, of course, is the same reason why, at a time when socialism was at its peak popularity, the Nazis saying that they were also socialists, but they were socialists for the in-group, the folk. You are being class reductive? No, I'm not. Because this does not mean that there isn't any emphasis on marginalized identities that are being dominated, okay? Because, as I always like to say, white supremacy white supremacy designs its targets on the virtues or on the signifiers of race, but the violence that race is subjected to is still the exact same violence that you see as class violence. Okay? Redlining is a great example of this. In my opinion, redlining is a perfect example of this, right? Redlining is class violence, but it is specifically targeted towards black people. And therefore, you cannot cast aside white supremacy and simply say, oh, we're all working class. When you are organizing, you can do that, okay? But depending on who you're organizing with. In a national campaign, you have to obviously target the broadest base of support and focus on affordability and stuff like that. But when you're actually communicating these issues to the communities that are seeing an additional amount of violence, you have to talk to them on this basis as well. No one is casting aside racism as a major factor here. Do you understand? But even racialized violence even racist violence, white supremacist violence is still being dished out at the systematic level in the exact same ways that class violence operates. It is a factor that actually ends up, like, racialized violence or racism and white supremacy is what's the term for it? It makes it worse overall. I don't know how else to describe it. I can't even think, even though I fucking slept so much more today. Not self-reinforcing and not a compounding factor. Thank you. It's a compounding factor. And I think it is important for us never to cast aside bigotry. But also, I think simply just saying like, oh, this is class reductionism or whatever, is stupid. I'm asking in good faith. I asked you in good faith yesterday when you timed me out. What's up with the lack of coverage on Gaza recently? Like the UN voted of recent airstrikes. I know you care, Habibi. That's what makes it strange. No, there is no cynical purpose, brother. It's because there's so much happening. Like, and I'm also in China. That's it. That's the only reason. And yeah, I haven't talked about the UN vote at all. Not because of like some sinister purpose or some secretive reason. No, I think it's utterly ridiculous that both China and Russia did not use their veto power. And I think it's fucking ridiculous that people were defending that on principle, saying that it's, oh, well, you know, the Arab states actually were on board with this, or the Palestinian Association was on board with this, or some of you guys want, you know, China to be the fucking hegemon, and China to be the savior of Palestinians or whatever. And I think China has a lot more power and a lot more influence. They just don't want to do it. It's just they want to trade max. And we know that is how China is. They are ruthlessly pragmatic, and first and foremost, China first. That's all it is. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. This is not, for me, it wasn't unexpected at all. I'll be honest. Like, it's just not, you know, no one should be surprised about Russia doing that. Yes, and no one should be surprised about China doing that either. That's the reality. On the other hand, they have obviously offered a tremendous amount of material support to resistance. Like, so there is, it's more nuanced, I guess. But ultimately, in the grand stage, when push comes to shove, they play ball. These are great world powers, and great world powers never care about the plight of they don't have any sort of real moral investment is what I mean. Great world powers and superpowers do not have a moral investment in the liberation of people. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. Okay? That's just the truth. They care about themselves. They care about their own people. If you're lucky enough to be living in a country that cares about its own people, you know, they sometimes in the case of China, they care about at least like improving the material conditions of their own people. But there are very few countries that truly care about the liberation of all peoples, and I think that is just the cynical nature in which we exist. Is just how capitalism has basically destroyed our collective conscience, at least at the point of governments, right? People do care about other people. Having said that, China is a large economic power and runs Israel's largest port that receives weapons. China just wants to trade max, and Israel can't. Israel can trade more than the Palestinians can. Yes, but also there's the other side of this, right? Like it's not. I do understand the argument where it's like, okay, well, if you're an American and you're like, why won't China do anything? It's like, well, we're American, you know? If we're looking at great powers and their responsibility in terms of like the plight of the Palestinians, I feel like China and even Russia to a certain degree, even though Russia is even more connected than China is to Israel, and China is fairly well connected to Israel as well. They use Israel as an opportunity to get the latest and greatest American technology, weapons specifically, that America would never allow China to have. It's not, these countries are utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things in terms of like how much, in comparison to how much America has played a formative role in propping up Israel. Israel is the extension of America in this region, right? So there's that as well. All right. Let's go back to the white nationalist Nick Fuentes' plan for the Republican Party.
Go back to the ticket. We moved over here to the conversation corner. 27-year-old Nick Fuentes is a MAGA-adjacent podcaster with an audience in the millions. He's a white nationalist who traffics in anti-Semitic tropes and is unremittingly hostile to gay rights and civil rights. As we have discussed here on this program, Tucker Carlson recently interviewed Fuentes without pressing him on his fringe views. That has divided and continues to divide the conservative MAGA movement. Now Fuentes wants to play a role in GOP mobilization leading up to the midterm elections. Tanner Na joins me now with fresh reporting on Fuentes' intentions. Tanner is with the Free Press, which you probably know, owned by CBS's parent company, Paramount Skydance. Tanner, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So, what are Nick's intentions? And What are the implications of those intentions for the broader MAGA Republican Party and movement?
Yeah, so Nick's intentions, in his own words, is to infiltrate politics, to take over the Republican Party and bring it in line with some of his more extreme views that are racist, anti-Semitic, and opposed to people of color. It's something that he's been planning on doing, something that he talks about in his stream nightly, but this move to create a foundation is really the next step in that.
And how would he make that real? How is he going to try to do this? Is he raising money? Is he going to do voter mobilization things? Is it beyond the podcast and streaming space?
Yeah, so my report of the Free Press outlines how he is revamping a America First Foundation, which is a 501c4 that allows him to raise money from major donors, create programming. Will not disclose them and be able to give those to candidates moving forward in the midterms. And explicitly, he wants to influence the midterms to be more in line with his agenda.
And what does the Trump White House, if anything, think about this?
You know, it's unsure. We talked to some White House officials. Some of them brushed it off. Some of them said it's very unfortunate that Nick Fuentes has such a large following, and that some of those voters might be vocal and might demand that some of these Republican candidates cater to their interests. It's unclear just because it's such an online phenomenon. But going forward, it's something that GOP operatives are definitely going to be looking at.
And the Tucker Carlson of it, how, based on your reporting, is that being evaluated and being debated within the conservative and MAGA movement?
Absolutely. It is completely fracturing and stoking these huge arguments. The Tucker Carlson interview with Nick Fuentes got millions of views, brought Nick really into the spotlight in a way he hadn't been before.
You guys want to see something crazy, by the way? I got this shirt at Army Logic. Dude, look, it's got these like little tassels. Isn't this the same thing Jewish people wear? Like Orthodox Jews? I didn't even fucking realize. Why is this so big? Oh my fucking God, lol. Yes, they have been driving me absolutely crazy. I mean, it's dripped up. Cultural appropriation. Congrats on the conversion. Brother, I'm gonna be honest. It's pretty fucking drippy. You know, I have talked about the Hasidic hats. The sex-having hats, right? When in the Orthodox community, when someone gets married, they get a hat, like the fur hat. I fucking love that shit. I think it's dripped up as fuck. No, it ain't, King. I love you too much to lie to you. No, I think the tassels are different. Tzit. But I'm gonna be honest. Zit. Those tassels are kind of fucking fire. Straight up. I think it's cool. Like, from a purely fashion perspective, I think it's cool. But I also like the tefillin too, fashion-wise. Go to Brooklyn and get Hasidic dripped up, my brother. Yeah. It's eat. Is that how you say it? Seat. They aren't a shirt, though. It's an item that goes into your pants. You have to hold them a certain way between several of your fingers when you bless them each morning. It's kind of cool. Anyway. I have one other question. Do you think Palestine BRICS application goes through before the next summit? I feel like this is something that gets missed in the discussions, but it's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, or would that have been Trump's deal if it didn't go through? The BRICS application for Palestine? I don't know about that. Be drip, my brother, in Yahweh. Straight up. Anyway, let's continue.
Terminology I've heard, glazing.
Glazing, yes. Tucker Carlson, it was not a combative interview. It was quite friendly. It was much more friendly than it was with someone like Senator Ted Cruz that Tucker interviewed just a few months ago.
And lots of people within the movement, MAGA and conservative, have spoken out about this. And it seems...
Palestine trying to still doing deals with Israel. Big drama on Twitter. I already mentioned it. I've talked about it a million times over. You guys know what my fucking position on this is. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I think China has a lot more power and a lot more prowess on the international stage than a lot of these fucking supposedly pro-China people give it credit for. Like, a lot of pro-China accounts are like mad. If you were to say, listen, you're American, you have no room to fucking, you have no leg to stand on. Well, there's truth to that, right? There's truth to that. Like, as Americans, we're the reason why Israel is what it is, right? Like, for us to be like, oh, what the fuck is China doing? It's like, okay, well, what the fuck are we doing, right? But having said that, even from an international politics perspective, even from a foreign policy perspective, like, China, even in its own fucking backyard, does not entertain destabilization and will play ball with hostile entities, with hostile actors. It is what it is. It's just, it sucks, but that's just how they always are. Except in Myanmar, no, Myanmar is a perfect example of this. What are you talking about? They literally will go along with the junta, and then they'll turn around, and then they'll fucking arm some of the other groups, depending on what their interests are. Myanmar is a perfect example of this. It's entirely dependent on what their interests are at any given moment. If they want to fucking stamp out like criminal elements in Myanmar, they go along with the junta. But then if the junta gets out of hand, they then will they will turn around and like arm some of the militancy. Why would any major power do anything when pretty much every Arab country is okay with the Trump deal? We got to worry about our backyard first. I mean, guys, you know that argument extends to America too, right? Okay, why would America do anything when Israel is obviously an incredibly important asset for American destabilization efforts and played a part of how they were able to keep the Arab nations at bay at a time of like pan-Arabic nationalism thriving in the fucking region. Okay, then yeah, you make that argument for America too. Yeah, it's in America's interest. I guess the politicians are correct then. It's in America's interest to fucking do whatever Israel desires, because obviously Israel's played a very important role in stamping out all of the revolutionary sentiment in the fucking region, right? It unironically is even more strategic for China and Russia to posture against Israel, because Israel is a base in the smack dab in the middle of the fucking resource-rich region that Russia and China still have to cooperate with, right? I might be crazy, but check your noise gate. No, my noise gate is busted. I don't know why. I can't fix it. There's nothing I can do to fix it. I've tried. It is actually broken. Like, there's no difference between noise gate being active and inactive. Yeah, the noise gate is always inactive now. I don't know why. Look, this is noise gate on. There's still noises you can hear in the background. This is noise gate off. Noises you can hear in the background still. The noise gate machine broke. It is what it is. Processing is off in the bottom. Wait, is that what it is? Did I accidentally click something? No, I don't think that's... Wait. No, it's still not working. See? What is this? Yeah, it's just not working. It's not working at all. It does not work at all. No, it's not fixed. You can still see it got quieter, but that's because I moved away. Reset the mixer after stream. No, it's still not working. See, you can hear this. Normally, with the noise gate, a light finger snap should not be heard unless I'm talking. You can use the OBS noise gate in the meantime. No, OBS noise gate is shit. Weird static, no noise gate, but out the tinfoil. Okay, let's just keep going. Do you like Israel? No, I do not like Israel.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tanner, that it is in part a generational divide. Young men, for whatever set of reasons, maybe they don't know enough about history. Maybe they need a little bit more history about the Holocaust, about World War II, about who Stalin was, who Hitler was. But for whatever set of reasons, they have, at least for the moment, gravitated in Nick's direction. That's given him a kind of accumulated online clout, has it not?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nick Fuentes is wildly popular online. He does a nightly stream that goes for hours, but online on Instagram and X, these sound bites are 30 seconds to a minute long. And they, as has been said, are very, very racist, anti-Semitic sometimes. And
it's so funny that they keep bringing up Nick Fuentes glazing Stalin. Like, that's God, the mind of a liberal, man. They unironically will be like, no, Stalin and Hitler? That's crazy. It's like, bro, come on. Come on, brother. Come on. It's just like, there is a difference. You know what I mean? Please. There is a very significant difference, especially in terms of defeating Hitler. They act as though it's even worse that he says Stalin than Adolf Hitler. And as long as liberals have this psychotic, anti-communist, anti-socialist slant. They will never be able to distinguish as long as they try to sit smack dab in the center of this. Like, and this is not to say Stalin is devoid of criticism, right? Like, there's plenty of worthy criticism of Stalin as well. But like, the idea that you are sitting at the center, at the comfortable center here of anti-Nazi and anti-socialist, anti-communist sentiment is part of the problem, is part of the reason. This like universalization of like extremes on both sides is unironically how we got here, where Nazis can be like, well, these guys have a different alternative, that they're an alternative vision for society, and so do we. What's so different about it? You're eating the bait when you bring up Stalin. You're being fucking stupid. This isn't to say like, oh, you should defend Stalin or whatever. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that you're playing into this idiotic worldview where you end up normalizing Nazis more, okay? That's what you end up doing. When you look to socialism and communism as an equivalent dangerous ideology as Nazism, you don't end up actually successfully tarnishing both values or both ideals. You did for the longest time during the Cold War, certainly. But nowadays, when you do that, you're not actually successfully pushing people away. You end up simply playing a role in normalizing Nazi ideology as simply a deviation, a different way of existence, a different ideology. It's not. There's a reason why certain ideologies are more dangerous than others. There is a reason also why initially Nazi historians and pro-Nazi analysts were doing the double Holocaust theory, right? It's a form of Holocaust revisionism and Holocaust denial, where they would engage in this like double genocide theory to be like, well, the USSR was also just as genocidal, if not worse, because then ultimately you look at the numbers and you're like, well, they killed even more people. Look at the Black Book of Communism. Communism has killed 700 billion people on the planet. They've killed every person on the planet. Don't you think that's worse than Nazism? You're opening the door as a liberal. You're opening the door to say like Nazis were actually not as bad as the communists were. And then also the final version of that, ideology is to basically say we fought the wrong side on World War II, which is, when you come to the maximalist conclusion that maybe the Nazis weren't so bad, right? Could you please explain that? Why do we always say that number about the communists? Could you please explain it? I mean, there's so many different fucking reasons, right? I don't know where to even begin. There is a dramatically different set of material circumstances in the period of revolution in Russia and post World War II, or pre World War II and post World War II USSR development, as opposed to an ideological reason as to why mass and mechanized slaughter took place in Nazi Germany. There's famines. Like it's the same dynamic between capitalists saying that communism is responsible for famines and therefore the deaths of hundreds of millions of people, versus capitalism is not responsible for the deaths of 14 million people a year due to famine at a time when there is literally an abundance of food. There's a surplus of food right now. Back then, there was no surplus of food. Back then, famines took place all the time, and mismanagement played a big role in accelerating deaths by starvation in agrarian societies that were trying to industrialize. Okay, and in agrarian societies that were basically backwater, that were trying to industrialize and make up for 400 years of colonial extraction that the Western world had the time and opportunity and the violence that came along with it to develop to the degree that they had, versus when you look at China, when you look at Russia, these guys didn't do that. They weren't enslaving people. They weren't fucking literally going to Africa and just stealing people, raping them, and forcing them to breed and utilizing them, and had an abundance of wealth that they had extracted, right? Russia was a colonial power, yes. I know. I understand that. Except they didn't actually become the USSR through that colonial extraction. They did not develop through that colonial extraction. They did not have the same slave economies that the Western world had. You're talking about 50 years of development that basically matched up to 400 years of development on top of the on top of the colonial conquest. Okay? Of course, there is going to be a shit ton of death and a shit ton of problems in the same process, but it also needs to be looked at with the analysis of the appropriate set of circumstances that led to said violence. In any case, this guy's for the free press, so he doesn't give a shit about any of that. I mean, these guys are viciously anti-communist and probably have a lot more allegiances with Nazis, with the exception of Nazis that are anti-Israel. People saying that forget that Russia was imperialist even before the USSR. What do you mean even before the USSR? Of course, yes, Tsarist Russia was an empire. Yes. A big part of the reason why this fucking socialist revolution took place in Russia is because none of those bounties of the Russian Empire was actually being given to the peasants at all. They didn't fucking, like, that's kind of the reason for why there was so much discontent. The serfs got none of it.
These sell online, and there's a large contingent of young people, particularly, they call themselves groypers. Those are his fans that are really coming of age and entering, staffs and politics and growing up and getting into the halls of power. So
you're beating Asman. How did this guy go from you're beating Asman to why did you abuse your dog? I used to watch Daily, by the way. Why are you gaslighting us? Cute even debunk what you said. R word, R word. Everyone outside of your orbit knows. I used to watch Daily, by the way. How the fuck did this happen? How does someone go from spamming, Iron Mouse and Hassan emotes to this? Truly a case of extreme brain rot. They're just farming for a clip. Yeah, but like, how do you get there? You know, I don't understand that. I kind of want to, but Reddit brain rot, lack of critical thinking. John Fetterman Ray calling someone a pedo is insane rage bait. Yeah, it's crazy because this is the anti. Bro saw one fake Twitter post and it broke his brain. That's kind of scary. This is the formative anti-pedophilia broadcast. Yeah, maybe it's because I didn't watch the Iron Mouse video. That's probably what it is.
It's something to watch, and it's something that the Republican Party is going to have to contend with. And it is generational in terms of older versus younger.
And you use that term, groyper. Is there a definition, a understood definition of what a groyper either thinks or believes?
So a groyper is a broad term that Nick Fuentes coined.
Right there.
He did. Yes, so it is singular to him.
Hopefully it has all of
sort
the...
I
charged it a lot last night or the day prior. Hopefully it charged all the way. On the dot, baby. Mouse has shooters out there? Yeah, I love Iron Mouse. The fuck? That's one of the funniest parts about these like fucking random haters on the internet is like they don't realize that I am, not only am I fans of some of these people, but I'm also in like I have a decent relationship with them. Like it's not like I'm like they don't ever really think about that though. They just think like no, they must hate this person as well. I think this comes from certain communities of streamers who actually have charges against them just making shit about you out of nowhere. Yeah, no, that's definitely what it is. Reddit is, or at least initially, it was titanically influenced before the most recent takeover. It was way more of a central to Twitch culture than Twitter ever was, and its takeover was a major toxification. No, I think Twitter also played a role in the toxification of Reddit too, though. Twitter is the most interconnected. Twitter is the most like interconnected platform of all time. You can take it. I already swapped it. And it's a shame you're becoming increasingly isolated. I'm not. It'll be fine. Twitter is so connected to all these other platforms that like narratives that thrive on Twitter end up making its way to TikTok, end up making its way to Reddit. And therefore, when that happens, it has the capacity to influence all these other platforms as well, unfortunately. It'll be all right, though, because I think woke is making a comeback, regardless of how much Elon pushes on Twitter to eradicate woke. I think people are realizing that the unfettered The unfettered, unrestrained neo-Nazi sentiment is really fucking gross, and people don't like it. So there was always going to be a limit to how anti-woke people could get, and we're at that limit, or we're getting to the limit right now. Woke is already making a comeback. What you do is so much bigger than Twitch and a stupid drama. I wish that wasn't even in the question. No, but it's still important to not be completely isolated. These guys wouldn't work. My haters wouldn't work tirelessly to try to make me a toxic figure by identifying my friends and allies and going after them aggressively and stalking them if that wasn't actually a successful method. You know? Because feeling a sense of isolation is exactly how guys like that who are fans of Iron Mouse will become massive haters of mine and will think that like people like Iron Mouse and I do not have like similar worldviews. You know what I mean? Like Iron Mouse is Puerto Rican and also a disability advocate too. Like it's ridiculous. Anyway, I heard this is I've seen this clip going around. I heard it's very funny. This is Charlie. She streams, by the way, and she's a feminist. She's great. Enemy Charlie. Let's take a look.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm gonna reframe, and I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know, but the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your
Look at this motherfucker's face. Why does her being what? Why does her being Puerto Rican have to do with anything? What do you mean? Puerto Ricans are oftentimes automatically woke, or the exact opposite. And Iron Mouse is woke for obvious reasons, for the historical reasons of Puerto Rico being a territory. There's hella Puerto Ricans in this chat. It can go either way. It's one or the other. This loser makes a lot of money on donos. Finally, a good PR mention. Yeah, always a good PR mention. Puerto Ricans are either assigned woke at birth or assigned some of the least woke in society at birth, like Stone Toss, who happens to be a neo-Nazi and also Puerto Rican.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
What a good counter. You lick sniz. What does sniz mean? Is he trying to say pussy like a baby? Why are you guys still in the hotel room? Go outside, bro. The weather is nice today in Hong Kong. I know. We are. We are going outside right now. That's why March is in here. And that's why the laptop camera's on. It means vagina yes in a slur attempt. Okay. Once again, the bigotry PhD in me wants to say that's a fucking 2 out of 10 attempt. Okay? That's a 2 out of 10 attempt. Why? Because if you're trying to say something, like if you're trying to use a pejorative or trying to say something like a slur, you can't come across like a baby. You can't come across like a child. And I feel like you lick sniz is the most 12-year-old version. Okay? Oh, God. Hold on.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say, dyke?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to...
Do the women that you try
show
to...
your hatred against...
Oh my God, he's just spamming slurs. Again, I would go, he went from 2 out of 10 to like a 3 out of 10 at most, because he at least like substituted it. He substituted the term for a more commonly known, more adult version of the slur. Why is he allowed to say that? What do you mean, dude? You know how these guys operate at this point. Like, they just say whatever the fuck they say whatever the fuck they feel like saying. It's just, this is just the world we live in now, unfortunately. There's not really anything we can say or do about it, okay? What's the point of coming to debate this dude? I don't understand it. But, you know, more power to people like this who actually can sit there and entertain these fucking dipshit losers, you know? Especially because it does end up yielding these sorts of clips where these guys expose themselves for being childlike babies I mean, the moment where he feels insecure, he just immediately starts spamming slurs in order to derive some sort of reaction out of her, and it obviously fails because, once again, 3 out of 10 version of bigotry here. 3 out of 10 version of bigotry because, again, you're spamming slurs and you're not getting the reaction that you want out of this person.
When that you try to,
them that they shouldn't,
you know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called
into
me fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing which is immoral.
Charlie's entire catalog on work on Andrew. What is this? Charlie's entire catalog of work on Andrew Wilson is 10/10. Who Charlie? Which Charlie? Who are we talking about? Who's Andrew? Is this Andrew Wilson? The guy who said you lick sniz? I didn't even realize he had a baby mom. He had 3 different children for 3 different baby mamas. Now, obviously, that's not a problem. In you know, in my worldview, I don't give a shit. Who, you know, you fall in love with who you fall in love with, and what they've done prior to that is inconsequential. And even like having children with like different men, I don't think is a negative. I don't give a fuck about that stuff at all. But I know he cares, and I clearly, not only does he care, but he's also deeply embarrassed by it. No, his wife has 3 baby daddies. No, I understand that. But I'm saying, like, to me, I don't really. I understand his wife has 3 baby fathers. You're coming? Yes, I'm coming down right now, Will. Boom. Flipped. Wait, hold on. Don't show anything, actually. Okay. Never mind. Charlie is the woman in this clip. You just read her name out? Oh. Charlie's the woman in the clip. Okay. All right, we're going.
Damn, this guy's good.